Hi, everyone. My name is Britt. You may have seen me out in the hall. I am part of the Harpy team, and we build security tooling, which can be, really boring, but we try to keep it really fun and really easy. So I'm happy to be here with you all today, and really honored to be on stage with these wonderful women besides me. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. We're going to start over here with Jess.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Jess Houlgrave. I'm the CEO at Wallet Connect. Wallet Connect is a protocol that connects apps and wallets within the crypto and Web3 space. Started as an open source protocol in 2017. Today we have about 5,000 or so applications, hundreds and hundreds of wallets. We recently launched human readable messages, Web3 Inbox, which you may have seen in the quests today that allow apps to send notifications to wallets as well. We're cross-chain and very excited to talk today about the future of wallets. So thanks for having me.
Awesome. I'm Nitya. I'm the founder and CEO of Capsule. At Capsule, we build cross-app embedded wallet infrastructure, so making it easy to onboard users into dApps as well as support them along their user journey. And so we support a couple of dozen products, and most recently announced a collaboration with MetaMask on an account type supported by our MPC. And then beyond that, just really excited to be here.
Thank you so much for having me. I really loved the energy as soon as I'll be jumping events, and the SheFi quests and community is really popping, so that was really nice. I'm Mehak. I work for the technology and engineering team at PayPal. So we're the team behind PYUSD and several other crypto products that PayPal provides to our consumers today. So I'm really excited to be here and really happy to talk about the future of wallets and where we're going to go.
Awesome. There's a rocking stage that we all have here. So, talking about the future of wallets, what about, we've had a real big focus on the user experience in the past. What about that focus is important to maintain? And what do we need to be thinking about in the future about future focuses?
So I'm one of these people who loves the crypto bear, the winter that we've just been through, right? Because what I think happens in that time is that people focus on building things that we really need. We don't get caught up in these hype cycles of what's exciting and sexy right now. We think, okay, if we're gonna build this industry for the long run, what problems do we need to solve? And what we've seen over the last winter is that we've solved what I think are a lot of these fundamental infrastructure user experience problems. We've almost at the point now where we don't need seed phrases anymore, where we can have social recovery, different mechanisms to allow people to still benefit from the kind of core values of Web3 without some of the challenges that we've known for the last 10 years as users in this space. So for me, I'm super excited for this next exciting phase, shall we say, of the market. But the reality is also that the user experience things are just one part. That's just getting us to the starting line. And what we now need to see is developers taking those tools that we've built for them and building things that end users really value. So how do we use this technology to create things that people really want and really need and that deliver them something awesome? Because now we can give them the user experience, but it's okay, here's the challenge to all of you guys as builders, is what you're gonna do with that that's gonna bring new users to the ecosystem.
And so what do you see happening that you think is going to be on the edge of that future? If you had a crystal ball, mind you, none of us do.
For me, I'm excited about a number of different things in different spaces. I think that there is a huge kind of chunk of the world right now that can benefit from better financial infrastructure. There is also a big part of the world that has great financial infrastructure but can benefit from different ways to monetize their intellectual property, different ways to own assets, different ways to reward creators for the value that they bring to us. So I guess that's a really bad answer because it's kind of everything. But I'm just excited to see this innovation.
And what about you? I mean, you are on a really new frontier and a new edge. What are you seeing?
we're seeing a lot of things. It's really hard to define, that one particular thing that, we feel like is going to move the needle or make the difference. And that's why we're here, right? Like, as you said, like, this is a new frontier for us. This is a new space for PayPal. And we're here to learn with everybody and here to learn from everybody in this community, right? What we are trying to do here is, like, by introducing PYUSD, PayUSD, and making sure that we launch an open loop, we want to bring sort of the reputation, the security, and the safety that PayPal's wallet and other products bring to the Web3 community, and work together with the Web3 community to, like, forward mass adoption, right? We want to be able to use our two-sided community, whether it's merchants, whether it's consumers, and sort of create awareness, spread education, and help people realize that there's so much you can do. But I completely agree with Jess, when she said that the winter or sort of the craziness that we went through in the Web3 industry was important, because I think every ecosystem needs that cleanse, so that you can really focus on building resilient products, on building products where you know that if you wake up tomorrow morning, it'll still be there, right? So I think it's just about finding the right utility. And that can be done in a lot of ways. It's not just about the transaction that happens. It's about how you support the right use cases.
And on the Capsule side, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I think building on that, I think we've gotten to a point where there's always been, I think, this like dream experience we've strived for of the ease of use of Web 2 with all the unique properties of Web 3, so like interoperability, composability, and I think we're finally getting to a point where this isn't a hard stake in the ground that builders have to choose between either having a great experience or having something that's open. So really excited for that. And then to kind of build on the point around stablecoin finance in particular, I came into the space in 2017 working on stablecoin finance, and like have just been so excited to see a lot of the uptick around that. Just seeing broader adoption, broader usability of the kind of core crypto primitives.
And I want to go back to something you were saying about sort of that two-sided community. How do you see the evolution playing to that, or what needs do you see arising out of that other people in this room may be, approaching in the future with things they're working on, or in collaborating with projects that are already existing?
Okay. Sorry. That's a great question, and it's a really vast community, right? Like, we have millions of vendors and millions of consumers and merchants. I think the way I would put it is, think about this. With Web3, with cryptocurrencies, like stablecoins come in and sort of help you bridge that gap between Web2 payments, like traditional payments, and the new world of payments that blockchains enable us with, right? Like, think about remittances as a use case. So a lot of us here might be sending money back to families in different countries, or paying vendors across the globe. Like, a lot of businesses need that kind of quick movement of value, right? And stable coins bring you that sort of ability to be fast, to be seamless, and to be accessible and inclusive, right? So I think that's the core potential that needs to be tapped. And that's what we're trying to do here. So I won't say that, tomorrow every vendor you go to, or like, every CVS you walk in will be accepting different kinds of cryptocurrency as well. That would be great. But I think it is really important to understand that you take baby steps. You learn what it is that you're really using, learn how you can on-ramp and off-ramp with different kinds of products within the crypto community, and what works the best for your particular business or your particular use case.
And so I have some questions about cross-chain, because, in an environment where, we can't create barriers for our customers, right? We need to create experiences that allow our customers to choose where they want to interact, and that's the really way that we get them engaged and establish trust. From the cross-chain perspective, what specifically do we need to be thinking about in the next evolution of wallets?
So from my perspective, one of the things that our founder at Wallet Connect, Pedro, started, and that we do a lot of work on today, is something called the Chain Agnostic Improvement Proposal. So it's a set of standards called CASA. And what this tries to do is to build, is this sounding really weird? Is that better? Okay, what this tries to do is to build a shared set of standards and a shared set of understanding that doesn't inhibit different chains in the way that they build and doesn't inhibit different developers, but ultimately gives them a shared set of technical nomenclature that allows people to have similar experiences at the end user level. Because as you say, what we're trying to do in this space is to grow it, to give people delightful experiences. And sometimes I think as builders, we can forget what it's like to be new and to have to start from scratch. So I think what is really important, and again, this is a lot of the work that we've done over the last 6 or 7 years at Wallet Connect, is about bringing these different communities together so that they can have that conversation. There's a forum for a conversation to establish a shared set of standards, and that those can then be embedded right at the kind of like technical protocol level across different chains, so that we can create familiar experiences for wallet users. So I think it's just about coming to the table. It's great that there's competition in this space. It's awesome to see, but we also have a responsibility to make sure that we don't pass that friction on to end users.
Building on that, I think cross-chain has, of course, unlocked a lot of those like great value props of maybe faster transaction times, lower cost of transactions. But of course, it's created liquidity fragmentation and fragmentation of the end user experience. I think one thing that wallets are uniquely positioned to do in terms of our charter and our like, promise to users is unifying that end user interface as much as possible. So whether it looks like having bridging be easier to abstract from a user, or whether it means that the end kind of user signing process looks uniform regardless of what chain you're on, or whether you have transactions that start to span multiple chains, being able to more or less constrain user interaction points into discrete actions as opposed to having them kind of map directly to each individual transaction. And that's something that's very much within the purview of wallets. So something I'm excited for us to see.
I think this is a really important topic to talk about because interoperability is extremely important, right? If we really want to talk about expanding through use cases and sort of bringing everyone in and being truly inclusive. For PayPal and for PYUSD, that is sort of top of our minds. We are considering, going multi-chain, and we do want to take into consideration the opinions of the developer community to understand which are the right L1s or L2s. That would be the right consideration for us. Well, we decided to start off with the ERC20 token because we felt that had the highest level of acceptability and sort of mass usage to as much as you can call it in this in the Web3 community, right? So we wanted to be able to really get out there, make that impact, but we do understand that there are a lot of benefits to be achieved by going multi-chain. And as simple as it gets, like gas fees can be extremely high when you look at Ethereum mainnet. So yeah, these are things that we are thinking about and considering, and I would love to talk about that with anybody who's interested.
Awesome. And I'm going to throw you guys a little bit of a curveball, but it's kind of come up a couple times, and I think you'll have really interesting answers. So if you were creating the standards of the future, what is something that you think is absolutely the thing that you would want added into there? So I'll give you a moment to think, and I'm going to let the audience know I totally threw that as a curveball.
I could start off, and I would like to say that here I am speaking for myself. I do try to push for these things at my company because I like making everyone uncomfortable. But for me, I think the one thing that's truly important and that I'm truly passionate about is decentralized identity. And especially when you talk about self-sovereign identities. I feel like a lot of people don't really understand the power that can give you, because decentralized identity at the base level is sort of handing back to you what truly should be yours. Like, we live in a world like, Web 2 and the internet boom enabled a world where we aren't really in control of our identity or the attributes of our identity and our online behaviors, right? And a lot of big tech platforms today utilize that information without our knowledge and make, tons of money off of it, right? And I'm not saying that I'm against marketing or like targeting the right audiences. Like, I love my ads. I love getting to know when Coach has the next big sale. But that being said, I feel like we should have the right to choose what data and what attributes of your identity are actually getting sold. And decentralized identity really allows you to sort of tokenize every small attribute of your identity and then even be able to monetize that at some point, right? I know we are very far away from a world where this can be a reality and this can actually be used for, well, data self-monetization. But that is something that excites me, and I feel like I would, if it was an ideal world and I was building standards, I think that was something I would focus on first.
Awesome. I have a somewhat niche one and then maybe a more general one. On the more niche side, being able to just rotate private keys without changing an address. This is something where anyone who has worked in kind of InfoSec knows it's good hygiene to swap out your private key for a new one. But of course in crypto, that means changing your address and losing your soul-bound NFTs, and it has all these trade-offs, which of course there are some workarounds too. I guess one thing that we work on that's related to this on the MPC side is doing things like key refreshes, which gets you close. So that's one. But then maybe another is having more uniform standards for transaction messages and making it easier to kind of infer in a more standardized way what's happening when a transaction gets executed. Of course, right now, a lot of that falls on wallets and a lot of really awesome security companies, but would also be really nice to have more of that encoded at the blockchain layer.
I think, so tomorrow morning we're putting out this report about consumer behavior in crypto that I'm really excited about. And one of the things, like my most surprising finding from it, was the number of people who admit that they don't use all the security features that are available to them. Not that they don't know how or anything else. They just don't use them. And I self-identify as being too lazy to use the security, right? So like this blew my mind, because the other sides of the question is like, what do you want to see more of? Security. We want more security. Guys, what's the issue? Oh, there's not enough security. And then you're like, okay, here's the security. We're too lazy to use that. And so like reading these questions, I'm like, okay, this just, it's insane how people are willing to self-identify as being lazy around security and still also say that they need more security. So I guess if I had this magic wand that you're offering, it's like, how do we make sure that there are better standards around security so that we can avoid these people who are lazy and give them the confidence and the security that they need and deserve? Because the power of crypto, the power of Web3, which is why like I'm here, why I think so many people in this room are here, is because it gives us this incredible power to own our own identity, to own our own assets, and to own our own data. But with that power comes like great responsibility, you know the line. And so like, how do we make it easier for people to bear that responsibility? And so I think for me, it has to be around security.
No, I didn't hear any of that little part in the middle though. But I think you don't want to avoid them. You really want to embrace them. So I hope for moving forward, there's a way that it's baked into the blockchain. A lot of what I usually say is that hopefully I'll be out of a job one day because you shouldn't need all these security features. So we have run to the end of our time. I just want to say thank you to all the wonderful people we have on stage here. And you can stay for the next panel. Okay, we're not running off just yet. We get questions for the audience. Does anyone have any questions?
Hi, ladies. Thank you so much. It's so great to have like a nice array and background of wallets. What projects are you most excited about working with to use your wallet solution in the next 6 months?
I'll maybe give a slightly cop-out answer and share maybe two areas that I'm excited about. So the first is a lot of this like stablecoin-driven finance and making it easier to kind of access USD-denominated value around the world, as well as to transfer value, kind of independent of intermediaries. So a lot of that movement has been really exciting to me personally. And then the other has been social. So I think we're finally seeing a lot of the promise of being able to own your identity, bring it with you, also build in a permissionless way across different modalities. I think we're seeing a lot of that come to fruition, and a lot of the teams here have been building some really amazing stuff to that end as well. So yeah, just really excited for what composable social can do.
Any other questions out in the audience? I'm going to try and project so I don't take the mic. Oh, go ahead. No. I'm going to get to your question in just 1 second.
No, all I was going to say, which isn't really which is a product for our wallets, the wallets that are using us, is that I'm excited about messages that can be sent directly to wallets, because what this does is it removes the need for our applications to collect our telephone numbers, our email addresses. They can speak to us as a wallet holder. And again, that for me, that's just a core part of like privacy and communication. And I think that this wave of Web3 is going to bring that. So I'm excited for that. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
Not at all. And from the PayPal side? I'm learning.
Yeah, so, well, it may not directly link to our wallet, but what I'm really excited about is the different kinds of partners we're working with for PYUSD. For instance, Yellow Card is a partner that serves remittances in African markets. And we recently, learned about the adoption that PayPal USD, PYUSD has had over there. And it's so insightful and so endearing to see the inclusivity that this kind of a token is bringing around, because we heard feedback that when consumers are hearing the name PayPal and when they know that this is insured, it's a trustable platform to use this token and to send money like in seconds from the United States to their families back in different parts of Africa. They want to use that, and I think that's what we're here for. Like, these are the kind of use cases we want to promote. This is the kind of inclusivity, and this is the kind of safe finance that we want to spread. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Wrap it up? All right. If you want to ask us a question in the back, you're more than welcome to. We do have to let the next panel come up here. It's always wonderful when you have a panel that's this engaging that you're, getting told to wrap up. So thank you all for your time today. Thank you for SheFi for having us here, and stay for a wonderful afternoon.